Hi everyone, my name is Autumn, and today in this video I'm going to show you a bunch of affordable holiday decor using things I got from the dollar store, as well as trying out some of those trendy DIYs from social media. Make sure you take a peek at the first part of this video where I took things from all around the house and created something new. Think trash to treasure, garbage to glam. I can't think of any others, but along those lines. I don't know about you, but my YouTube recs are filled with dollar store flips, tricks, hacks, upcycles, you name it, it's all over my YouTube homepage. There are so many creative ideas floating around online that I wanted to try a few of them out. Something that I mentioned in the first video was how much I love these DIYs and how you can change them up to fit your personal style. Changing the color palette, adding greenery, adding sparkle, taking away sparkle, bumping up color, toning it down. The options are endless, and I hope that this video inspires you to try creating some of your own holiday decorations. And now, onto the dollar store flips. I found this adorable DIY from Tina Lee. I'll link her video down below for her tutorial on how to make these, and make sure to check out her other awesome DIYs. She's so creative. These snowflakes just scream boho or cottagecore to me, and I wanted to make a million of them. You'll need a pack of these doilies from the dollar store. The package comes in 4 different assorted sizes with 8 of each size, and I was able to find a package of the medium size that had 32. You will need 7 doilies to make 1 snowflake. I carefully began to peel apart the doilies. Be super gentle because they are very thin, and because of all the cutouts, they aren't the strongest. Take the doily and fold it in half with the good side out, making sure to fold it in the same place for all of them so that they either have 1 curved part at the top or they all have 2 curved parts at the top. Unfold that piece and then take the sides, folding them in so that they meet at the middle. Then fold that piece in half. Using my glue gun, I applied glue to the round curves on the top half and then pressed the halves together. I had to make sure that only the rounded parts were glued together. There were some times when the glue overflowed to the main parts and I had to carefully detach it. You want to make sure that you're still able to open up the snowflake. I repeated this process with all 7 of them, and then it was time to glue them together. I laid the first one down and added glue down the center and along the bottom edge. Then I laid the next doily on top, lining it up as I pressed it down. In Tina's video, she recommends adding a little bit of glue to the edges that are connected just to give it a little more of a flower shape. Just be careful not to burn your fingers like me. The only thing I did differently from the tutorial was that I did not glue the first and the last pieces together. Instead, I used a paper clip to hold the snowflake open, and then that way, when I'm ready to take the decorations down, I can store it and save it for next year. Next are these awesome huge brown snowflakes that give me all those cool window storefront vibes. The package I bought had 40 brown bags. For the big snowflakes you will need 9, and for making smaller snowflakes you will need 6 or 7. I was able to make 3 big ones and 2 small ones from my package. Again, following Tina's tutorial, I started off by drawing a design on the first paper bag. I decided not to go lower than about 2/3 of the bag, and I didn't do too intricate of a design at first. I cut out that bag and used it as a template for the other bags. I found that my scissors were able to cut 2 to 3 bags at a time, but any more than that was too much. You can either trace and cut all the bags first, or you can glue them together as you go. To glue them together, lay the first bag down and apply a line of glue from the top center all the way down to the bottom, and another line of glue across the bottom edge. Gently press them together, making sure that the glue doesn't overflow near the tops of the bags. Some of mine stuck together and I had to gently pull them apart. Again, I decided not to glue the first and last bags together, but used paper clips to hold them open. To hang all of these snowflakes up, I attached an ornament hook to the paper clips and then hung that on a thumbnail. I really love how this turned out, and it was relatively simple. I saw these 12-inch wooden dowels, and I also found this set of wooden tower blocks at the dollar store. I wanted to use these to make some minimal, modern, decorative trees that I could spray paint or stain later. I started off by laying out the dowels and figuring out the measurements I wanted for the size of trees. I wanted to make them different sizes, so I brushed off my math skills and went to calculating. With this list of measurements, I was able to make one large tree, 2 medium-sized trees, and 2 small trees. The large tree had 2 8-inch sides and a 6-inch base. The medium trees had 2 6-inch sides and a 4-inch base. The small trees had 4-inch sides and a 3-inch base, and all of them had a 3-inch trunk. I drew this reference sheet for all of the different lengths I needed. This is an extra step, but it helped me to measure and mark out on the dowels where I needed to make the cuts and to make sure that I had all that I needed. Shout out to my husband for teaching me this trick. I tried using my gardening clippers to cut the dowels and it worked pretty well. I used a piece of sanding paper to make angled cuts for where the dowels meet at the top of the tree. It wasn't perfect, but it did the job. I used Gorilla wood glue to attach the pieces together and let those dry. I then used my power drill to make small pilot holes on the tower blocks for the dowels to fit into. Please don't do this how I did. Use clamps or a jig to hold that small piece while drilling. This was really unsafe. Thank the Lord I did not lose a finger. Seriously. The next day I took them outside to spray paint. I painted one of the medium-sized trees metallic copper and the other matte black. And I used the white chalk spray paint for one of the small trees, but it had a lot of bubbles, so I ended up sanding it and then doing a second coat with white crafting paint. For the other small tree, I used a clear polyacrylic wood stain, and for the large tree, I used a red chestnut wood stain. I liked how these turned out, but if you look close enough, you can see where my precision and attention to detail wasn't the greatest. But from far away, they look great. And I really like how you can use whatever colors you like and how you can create a little minimal modern forest. I had a bunch of the wooden tower blocks left and I wanted to try to make little farmhouse style signs with words painted on them. I started off by using E6000 to glue 3 little blocks together. I used some tape to hold them together as they dried overnight. I then went in with the red chestnut wood stain and gave them 2 coats, making sure to wipe up the excess each time. After they had fully dried, I tried using white craft paint to letter in some words on both sides of the signs, but I think my lettering skills using paint need some work. They were a little too chunky or just kind of off. I thought that maybe if I used some white puffy paint as an outline, it would help. I'm not sure if it did or not, but I ended up making another set following the same process, except this time I used a white paint marker for the lettering. I think that worked tons better, but it did need 2 to 3 coats for the white to really pop out. In order to hang these little ornaments, I attached some loops by using a cardboard tube and knotting a piece of butcher's twine into a bow. I used my glue gun to attach these to the top of each of the little wooden signs and then added an additional bow to the other side of the top. Overall, I'm happy with how these turned out, and I definitely plan on gifting them to my farmhouse loving mom. Alrighty, it's time to see how all these things turned out and how I ended up styling them in my home. We don't have our Christmas tree yet, so I ended up attaching a lot of these to our mantle or our fireplace or used as a garland. This is a great option if you're not able to have a Christmas tree or if you're not into that. Enough with the chit chat, on to the smooth swiping video footage. Wow, what an adventure. I hope that this has inspired you to try new things and to go for it, even if you run across a few bumps along the way, and especially if it doesn't turn out how you thought. Let me know what your favorite DIYs were, what you would change to match your personal style, and if there's any tips that you can give me so that I can keep growing in my DIY skills. As always, thanks for spending time with me, praying for you and your loved ones to stay safe, healthy, and happy. No matter how different your holidays are gonna look this year, let's hold on to hope. I'm so thankful that we can create, explore, and connect together. See you in the next one. Bye! Wow, what an adventure. I'm even surprised you.
That was such an adventure. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding. Ding 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 ding.
And especially if it doesn't turn out how you thought. Bye. 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 Just giving myself some options.